think, and concentrate on this sort of diet. You simply switch your primary fuel source away from carbohydrate and instead run on ketones. But this is definitely not for everyone. In fact, in my opinion, cutting out entire food groups isn't necessary. Most of the elimination diets, meaning ones that eliminate an entire macronutrient, help with controlling calorie intake. Let's face it, by not eating an entire nutrient category, you're likely to eat less food overall, particularly in the short term. So, while this diet may work for some people, there are certainly alternatives that provide more options, variety, and pleasure in eating. The second very popular diet to mention is called the paleo diet. This is a dietary approach based on eating like we imagine our ancestors did in order to stay healthy, lean, and fit. The idea is that we evolved to eat certain foods, but not others. The paleo diet emphasizes animal products, nuts and seeds, fruits, and vegetables. Notably, strict followers of the paleo diet do not eat grains, legumes like beans and peas, or dairy foods. This is because the designers of the diet say that these foods did not exist 10,000 years ago, and our ancestors did not eat them. It's sort of a radical back-to-nature approach. Many excellent books and websites dig into the evolution of these paleo theories, and most do not actually hold up to scientific scrutiny from evolutionary biologists and archaeologists, because we don't really know exactly what foods our ancestors ate 10,000 years ago. Nevertheless, the paleo diet overall is an approach worth considering, but likely not for the reasons that paleo followers promote. In general, paleo promotes good quality foods. Research has also shown that the paleo diet improves many markers of health and metabolism. And this diet promotes quality protein intake and lots of vegetables. That must be a good thing. And whole foods are also emphasized. So any way you cut it, this diet is superior to a typical fast food diet. Now, the exclusion of milk, legumes, and grains isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Those with allergies or sensitivities might fare well, but for everyone else, I'm not sure why you'd eliminate all of these great foods. Honestly, I know many very lean, energetic, and active, healthy people who choose to include milk, legumes, and dairy in their diets. While the arguments about the evolution of our ancestors and farming and eating practices that the paleo diet suggests don't hold up, I do think that there are some really great parts to this diet, as well as the other diets that I've talked about in this lecture. As I mentioned earlier, I've analyzed a number of dietary plans of keto and paleo followers. And what I see more than anything is increases in dietary fat overall, not specifically good fat like avocados, nuts, and seeds. I've also seen extremely high blood triglyceride levels and total body inflammation with this approach. It just seems like there's a lot of confusion about how to implement this dietary approach, particularly for very active people. Interestingly, the original paleo diet has been revised and has changed to a much more reasonable approach that is now mainstream. Things like grass-fed dairy and some starches and wine are now allowed. Now, another diet called intermittent fasting has also gained a lot of attention recently. Intermittent fasting is simply a diet plan where you go for extended periods of time without eating. There are many types of intermittent fasting schedules, and some popular ones include alternate day fasting, where you only eat every other day. Another one called Eat, Stop, Eat, where you have a 24-hour fast about 1 to 2 times per week. and the 16-8 diet, where you fast for 16 hours and then have an 8-hour window where you're allowed to eat. This may sound odd, but intermittent fasting is not really a new concept. Most people fast for about 8 to 10 hours every night. And there are religious observances like Ramadan, where for an entire month, Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. That sounds pretty close to the 16-8 diet, doesn't it? Research is now accumulating to show some benefits to following an intermittent fasting diet. Health benefits like improved lipids and blood glucose, reduced inflammation in the body, and improved appetite control have all been shown. It seems like common sense, too, that if you eat fewer times in a day, you simply have less time to eat. And some research has shown reductions in body weight and body fat while maintaining muscle mass when 1 meal per day was compared to eating 3 meals per day in healthy men and women who are between the ages of 40 and 50. Also, animal studies have demonstrated increased lifespan following intermittent fasting diets. So, theoretically, intermittent fasting could make a difference in body composition. The trouble is that there are so many different styles of fasting. So, clear-cut answers are tough to come by. For some people, intermittent fasting fits well into their lifestyle. But if you don't like breakfast and can't be bothered to take a lunch, it might work for you. I have one client who has maintained a 16-hour fast and 8-hour feeding window for over 5 years now. But for others, this style of eating can promote some binge eating at night and less control over what is eaten when you finally get home feeling starved. It is important to note that if you are exercise training while fasted, and you do this regularly, data show elevated markers of damage and overall stress. And almost all data shows a performance advantage from eating food prior to exercise and a performance decrease if you are fasted. For example, research on athletes that are fasted indicates a reduction in speed, agility, endurance, and decreases in mood and alertness. Occasionally, using a fasted workout is fine as part of a larger plan for a specific goal, but I wouldn't recommend it for every single workout. The bottom line is that the benefits reported from intermittent fasting have also been shown with exercise and a restriction-free diet. So I would only choose intermittent fasting if you know it fits your lifestyle and you know you can stick to it. As you might be able to tell by now, people are serious about supporting or bashing either the high-carb, low-fat approach or the low-carb, high-fat approach. For some reason, this riles people up as much as an argument about politics. You may even feel this way about the various fad diets that you've tried. But let's be smart about this. I think there are certain good points to most of these diets that exist. And these include controlling calorie intake, attempting to have more people eat high-quality foods, and limiting highly processed and highly sugar-filled foods, as well as trying to make it easy to follow. You'll see these commonalities regardless of the diet plan. So, how do we get it right? Which diet do we choose? Well, the bookstore probably won't help too much. You'll see thousands of dietary books on the shelves. This, more than almost anything, shows that we don't have it right yet, and that we're still searching for the optimal way to eat. In a book called Faster, Higher, Stronger, author Mark McCluskey says that it's the execution of what you know to be true that's most helpful, and not getting lost chasing some magic bullet. Well, I agree. It's all about taking care of the most basics first. For example, maybe just eat more vegetables for 3 weeks until it becomes part of your daily routine. Then, and only then, try a new habit like eating more lean protein for a few weeks. Handle your basic nutrition needs and see how your body responds to the foods you eat. What makes you feel good, energetic, and healthy? These questions are often lost in the sea of concerns about body weight. The best approach is to pick just one or two attainable goals and master them. Avoid all the other stuff you hear about. For example, McCluskey described this recommendation for athletes. Eat 1 gram of protein daily for every pound of body weight to support muscular growth. And eat at least 8 fist-sized servings of vegetables per day. The mantra has become to eat better to change your body composition, not less. Here are a few strategies that I use personally. Aim for minimally processed foods. Try for fewer refined starches and sugars. Eat protein with each meal or snack. Eat more fruits and vegetables. And eat more good fat like nuts, eggs, avocado, and fish. The goals of any of these strategies are simple. Emphasize quality in your diet and understand that one positive habit you adopt, no matter how simple, so long as you can adhere to it, can make a great long-term impact on your body composition and health. Try this. Rather than a fad diet, choose a healthy eating habit that I outlined and start by fitting it into your schedule just 2 times per week.